No, I think we're good there. I'm not actually sure though. All right.
Yes. All right. How's everyone doing out there?
Hello. Good evening, everybody. And I believe we're good with Instagram as well. How's everyone doing?
If we're looking this way, we're looking at our Facebook family, and if we're looking this up here, we're seeing all of our Instagram family.
I think that's going right. I actually really can't tell with the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, how's it going? It's 8 p.m. on Sunday, May the 2nd, and y'all know what that means. That means it is live streaming with me and John. I'm Attorney Mendoza, and this is my law partner and life partner husband, John Gardner. We are the...
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, me too. Totally happy. We are the attorneys and the founders at Gardner Mendoza immigration law firm in Virginia Beach, and serving clients all around the world.
That's right.
In all 50 states.
Yeah, we come to you every Sunday night at 8 o'clock, and we do our Facebook Live, and we do Instagram at the same time. And we bring you updates on immigration law. We bring you updates on the community, things going on with the law. And most importantly, we like to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and then we will answer them right here tonight. Live.
Right here tonight. And I'm still trying to figure out the gram. Let's see. It
Yeah, I don't feel like the Instagram folks are with us.
Is Instagram not working? I don't know. It looks like a no on that. But we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah,
we're gonna figure that out. So guys, while we're getting started here, please write your comments in the comments, your questions in the comments, and we will absolutely be sure to get to them.
We will answer them. And by the way, I do want to tell you, we have to say this every week, a warning, disclaimer, whatever you want to call it, that what we do here is not technically legal advice when we answer these questions. It's for educational and informational purposes only. So we are going to answer any questions that you have, including legal questions. But our answers are technically not legal advice, not until we actually are your attorney representing you. And that's legal advice.
Yeah, we're here to help guide you, information, our immigration updates, education. And if you guys have questions and if you want to go deeper and explore that, we'd be happy to set up a meeting with you and assist, because that's what we're here for. And we're really happy that you're here. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah,
We've got some people. Lily's on, Jason's on. Hello. Thank you guys for joining us.
Great.
And we've got a beautiful sunset going on right now as we speak. And but our kids are out there on the beach, and we're here.
That's right. They went out to watch the sunset, and I was out there earlier with our youngest and her friend. Just a glorious day out on the beach today. It was really, really nice. I might be a little. I don't know. I feel like I may have gotten a little too much sun.
No. You look great. It's vitamin D. It's vitamin D time. Okay. All right, can you hit that? Why don't we end that? And why don't we end that? And let's see here. Hold on a second, guys.
Sorry, gang. Bear with us 1 minute. Our Instagram folks did not link up with us for some reason.
Okay, I'm not sure.
While she's looking at that, I want to tell everybody I'm so excited about something, and it's like way in the future. It's not until December. We got tickets yesterday to see Joe Coy in Norfolk. For those of you who don't know, he's a super funny comedian. So look him up.
Very funny.
We're not going until December, and I'm laughing just thinking about hearing him in December.
Well, I think we're also excited that we're going to a show. So one of the things that we really missed during COVID, during the quarantine and COVID, we always used to go to concerts, shows.
Right.
We were in there with, 50, 100,000 people at the Taylor Swift concert or Shawn Mendes. And thinking about that now, it's a little scary to think about being in that close quarters, but we're excited. Hopefully it'll just all wear masks and laugh under our mask. Probably.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We already have some questions coming in, which is really great. We're going to get to those. We also have what we do every week, which is an inspirational immigration story where we feature someone their immigration story. We're also going to be talking tonight about immigration law updates. I'm going to talk a little, very briefly, about the travel ban from India that you may have heard about. And I'm going to remind everyone about the driver privilege card. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the Instagram situation there. And I'm going to give you some updates on where we are with some of these restrictions. The governor has made some announcements in the last couple of days, so we'll get you up to speed with all of that. All right.
Okay.
That's kind of like taking me back to the very, very early, when we very first started doing these Facebook Lives. We were talking a lot about all those executive orders that were coming out, and it was hard to keep up with them. So we have some changes again. It's been a long time, so we'll get everyone up to speed on that. All right.
Yes, I just want to welcome everyone again. Thank you, Rose and Eliana, for posting your questions. We're going to get to those questions. Mohammed, hello. Bibi, hello.
Yeah, don't
everybody, hello.
On.
Emma, yes. Okay, you guys just hang tight. We're going to get to it. But as John said, we love to talk about an inspiring immigration story every week. And I want to invite you guys at this point, if you have an immigration story that you'd like to share, or somebody that you know that you'd like to share, please send us a message, DM us, and we would love to talk about it. As we were joking last week, everywhere we go, we just bump into people, and they are inspiring immigration stories. And it's not hard for us to wherever we look to find an inspiring immigration story. And the one thing is that, we want to continue to talk about these stories and spread them, and spread the good word about immigration, because it's just so important for our history and our culture, and all the people who are all the generations that are going to be coming after the ones that initially immigrated. They still need to hear these stories. Anyhow, so tonight we're going to feature our friend and neighbor, and you guys are probably like, wow, they're always featuring their friends and neighbors. We have amazing friends. We have awesome friends. We have awesome clients. So yeah, we do feature our clients and our friends a lot. And tonight her name is Rita Adiko Cohen, and I met Rita. Well, I don't remember meeting Rita. We were kids, and her parents used to come and shop at my parents' grocery store. So this was many, many moons ago. This is, the early 80s. And I remember the Adikos. I remember, I can see the check, like, I just remember it because they were regular shoppers. They would come and shop every single week at our grocery store to get to, buy foods from their country. And they are from Ghana. And we had a wonderful just population of people from Ghana that came and shopped at our store. Don't forget about Peter Owusu, Uncle Peter.
Oh, yeah.
And just so many great memories, just wonderful people. But Rita, we ran into each other, probably 10, 15 years ago, because we just happened to live in the same neighborhood, huh? And she's an amazing person. She is a Zumba instructor, and one of the things that she's done in the past few years is that she's a co-founder of the Tidewater African Cultural Alliance. And I'm going to read a little bit here. And the purpose of TACA, and if you want to check this out on Instagram, it's TACA 757, TACA 757. Check it out. It's to unite the greater Tidewater community through community outreach, community service, educational programs, and cultural arts and events. And so she's been doing that, and they were recently one of the grantees of $10,000 in collaboration with Teens with a Purpose to explore the issue / history of race in Southampton Roads region. So they're working on that project. I mean, that's just so amazing. So I think I mentioned she's also a Zumba instructor. She's a baddie. Y'all should go check her out. She's fit with Rita. She's a total baddie. She's just, right? She's just in an amazing shape. And she's just so talented. And she's got 2 music degrees, one from University of Virginia. She's got one classical voice performance, Manhattan School of Music. She's a first-degree black belt in Taekwondo, several years of dance instruction, a professional 15-year performing career, and a mastery of 10 languages. A baddie, like I said, a baddie. But most importantly, she's just giving back to the community, and she's educating our community about African culture, and Taka is awesome. Like, I get their post on Instagram, follow them on Instagram, because they really are, you know, just putting out information that I didn't even know. There's so much that we don't know, and that's happening right here in our community. So Rita, hats off to you and your family, because we think very, very highly of you guys.
Absolutely.
And we need to support people like Rita. So that is our immigration story. And again, if you guys have one, shout it out to us.
Sometimes when I'm walking by with the dogs, I can even hear the opera coming out of even from inside. I can hear it.
she's pretty amazing. Like I said, she's a baddie. She's a baddie. All right. So do you want to do an update, or should we tackle some of these questions here?
Let's hit a couple of these questions, see if we can get these answered.
Can you grab that for me? I'm going to just, I think the Instagram is out, but that's okay. We'll post this later. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, unless you want to, if you want, I can talk about some of the stuff if you want to digest.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to take a look at these questions.
All right.
You can go, and I'll take a look.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I wanted to mention, and I don't know a ton about it yet either. It's new. Some of you heard about it, that President Biden will begin restricting travel from India to the United States Tuesday. That's the day after tomorrow. So very, very similar. It's almost identical to the travel ban that President Trump put in place at the very beginning of the pandemic from travel from China. If some of you remember that, it was controversial at the time, but in retrospect, health officials think that it was a really, really wise and good move on President Trump's part. And I think President Biden realizes that, recognizes that. And, you know, there's a lot of trouble in India. Our hearts go out to them. I hope that things improve there. There's concern that there may be a strain of the coronavirus that is just enough, and the thinking is to try to contain it there. And so there will be, starting Tuesday, a travel ban from India. There are a lot of exceptions, though, so it's not that restrictive, quite frankly. You know, going to effect Tuesday, as I said, it will not apply to citizens or lawful permanent residents of the United States, their spouses, or children, or siblings, or to the parents of citizens or lawful permanent residents who are under 21. So a lot of exceptions there, of course. Beyond Americans and lawful permanent residents, exemptions will also include students, some academics, journalists, fiancés, and people also who are traveling for humanitarian purposes, public health, national security, or to support critical infrastructure. Obviously, with those exceptions, you're going to have to show that is the case, that you fall into the exception category. People who are exempt from the ban will still have to abide by the guidance that the United States has already put in place for international travelers, including a negative COVID test for the virus before traveling and again upon entering the United States from India. And they also will have to quarantine if they are not vaccinated. So that's what we know at this point about the travel ban from India, and we'll obviously keep you updated if we learn more about it. And if you have any questions about it, you can look it up, or you can just ask us, and we'll see if we can get you an answer. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. Very, very important to know these things. All right, I'm going to put up the first question here. It's from Rose Eleanor. And she says, thank you for taking your time from Sunday afternoon to do this video. Our pleasure. It is our pleasure. So, traveling question. The past 5 years as a permanent resident, I've only traveled internationally for less than 2 months, and I am thinking of taking a small trip next month. I sent my N400 application this September 2020, and I was wondering if it is okay to travel internationally. Now, this is so funny because I just got this question via text from one of my colleagues, and actually it was Olia. Mm-hmm. She was our intern as well, and an attorney with us for a little bit before she went into bankruptcy law. Anyhow, so this is a little bit of an interesting misconception, I believe, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who believe this, that once you file your N400, you cannot and should not travel. That is not true. You can file your N400 and travel internationally, what's going to happen is when you get to your interview, you're just going to have to add that date to the application. It's not a big deal. So, of course, you don't want to, Rose is not traveling for a long period of time. You don't want to travel more than 6 months out of the country while your N400 is pending, because they could say that you've abandoned your green card. But here you're doing a short trip. It's not a big deal. Yes, you can travel while your N400 is pending. Rose, I hope I answered that question. But it is a misconception that a lot of people think they are kind of trapped once they file that N400. I mean, I've heard this before. I'm like, well, I didn't file my N400 because I was planning on doing a lot of traveling and I didn't want to travel while I was pending. It's like, it's fine to do that. You're good. You're good.
Right. Just be careful about how long you're out.
Yeah, and doesn't look like it's going to be too small trip. All right, and then she has a follow-up question too, which is an interesting one. We sat in on the field office directors, local field office director coffee with the FOD, and we're going to give updates on that this week. But one of the issues was biometrics, and they're just, the quote was, trickling in. They're trickling in. The biometrics are so slow right now. But and so Rose has this. I know the pandemic has slowed down a lot of things, but I saw online that usually you receive biometrics notice a few weeks after the N400 application. Do you know of any updates about why biometrics is taking much longer than usual? I submitted my N400 application in September of 2020, and I'm assuming that you did not get biometrics for your N400 from this question. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, that's a long time to not have gotten biometrics. And I would double check, Rose, to make sure that you didn't get notification that they reused your biometrics, which they can do from your lawful permanent resident card. So I would not be surprised if that is what happened and that you're not going to be called in for a separate biometrics appointment. So double check that. That's important. You're right. You gotta get those biometrics done to keep the case moving forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if they reused your biometrics. Rose, if we answered your question, give us a thumbs up, and hopefully we did.
I want to say hi to Malou, who has said hello to me.
Hello, Don Juan. Yes, my cousins. Hey, cuz. Yeah, we've got to get together. Absolutely.
All right, and there was one other question up there. It was, here we go.
Okay, so we have another question here, guys. Keep the questions coming, and we'll kind of do updates in between the questions. Now, this one's got a lot to unpack here. Eliana, thank you for this question, Eliana. And it's a lot, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to tell you what you need to know, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. From the Philippines, awesome. My mom is there right now. I don't think she's watching though. She never watches my Facebook Live for whatever reason. Mom, where are you? She lives in Quezon City. Anyhow, I have a terminated petition filed by my father, who was a USAFE member. Visa was approved in 2011. I was wondering if reinstatement can be done. I also have an existing B1, B2 if adjustment of status will work. So kind of reading through this question, Eliana, I'm not sure whether it was terminated because your father passed away. I don't want to assume that. If you want to write that in the comments, there is humanitarian reinstatement available for a petition that was approved prior to the petitioner's passing away. Again, I don't want to assume that. I'm sorry if that's not the case, if I'm not reading that correctly, but there is humanitarian reinstatement. Just go ahead and write in the comments if that's what it is, and I can talk a little bit more about that. But I don't want to go down that road if that's not what your actual question is. All right. But thank you guys, everyone, for coming. We really, really appreciate your support. Rowena's here. Aunt Sue's here. Hello, Aunt Sue. We've got Jason. Jason's got a question, and we're going to pop that question up. But why don't we do another quick update? Yeah,
absolutely. So I want to get everyone up to date on what's been happening with some of the COVID things. And one big thing is that effective immediately, effective right now, wearing a mask outside is no longer required if you are fully vaccinated. So if you're a person who's fully vaccinated right now, you no longer have to wear a mask outside if you're by yourself. or you are in a small gathering. I will warn, because I've had a couple of people already asking me questions about this this change. This is from the governor that you don't have to wear a mask. This is part of a new executive order.
Yeah.
But remember, you still have to wear the mask if the private place, the private property that you're on or visiting is requiring it. So the governor says you don't have to wear a mask when you're out by yourself if you're vaccinated. But if you're somewhere in a parking lot of some business and they have a policy that you still have to have a mask, well, you still need to have the mask because that's their private property policy. But otherwise, if you're in a small group in, say, a park, then you're fine if you're vaccinated, right? So that's good. Also, the 6th amended Executive Order 72 will go into effect on May 15th. So on May 15th, we're going to see some more changes, and I'm going to go through this, and I apologize. I'm going to be reading because it's a lot of information packed in here that I can't keep it all in my head. So social gatherings, this all starts on May 15th. The maximum number of individuals permitted in a social gathering will increase to 100 people for indoor settings and 250 people for outdoor settings. Social gatherings are currently limited to 50 indoors and 100 outdoor.
That's quite an increase.
Yeah, that's a big number. I think I heard something like 5 million folks have been vaccinated or something like that.
So this is regardless of whether they've been vaccinated or not.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Entertainment venues, indoor entertainment, and public amusement venues will be able to operate at 50% capacity or 1,000 people, up from 30% capacity or 500 people right now. Outdoor venues will be able to operate at 50% capacity, up from 30, with no specific cap on the number of attendees. So that's super cool, right? Just in time for summer. Suspicious timing? No, I'm not one of those people. Recreational sporting events. The number of spectators allowed at indoor recreational sporting events will increase from 100 to 250 or 50% capacity, whichever is less. Outdoor recreational sporting events will increase from 500 to 1,000 people or 50% capacity, whichever is less. So that's also a big bump for sporting events, which is great. Alcohol sales. Restaurants may return to selling alcohol after midnight. And
nothing really good happens after 10.
Yeah,
and this is coming from 2 middle-aged people.
That's right. That's right.
2 teenagers and a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's what we tell people.
Are we middle-aged? I guess we're middle-aged now. Yeah.
I don't know.
I
52. 52 is middle-aged, right?
Yeah.
Dining room closures will no longer be required between midnight and 5 a.m. So that's
Who's going out during those times?
I don't know.
I mean, okay, now we did used to go to the Village Inn back in the day.
Yeah. Way back in the day.
Way back in the day. When it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. The Denny's Grand Slam as well. But that was only after a concert or something, you know.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
so those are some updates on everything. Again, that's May 15th, which is just in a couple of weeks. So hopefully, again, we say this all the time. I hope that we're just being patient and that things are improving slowly but steadily. Again, it's unfortunately not the case in some other places. India is the hotspot at the moment. There have been others throughout this whole situation, and we just pray for them and hope that things continue to improve here for us. And I think they are. So that's that update.
Thank you for that. That was good. I was actually listening, paying attention. Because like, what's going on with the COVID stuff? Okay, I'm gonna pop up Eliana's, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right, Eliana. I'm gonna put her question back up. So, terminated petition filed by my father. Visa was approved in 2011. I was wondering if reinstatement can be done. So she did clarify that yes, Dad has passed away, but the petition was approved with an NVC case number. We were not able to respond within the prescribed time because we saw the letter just a few days ago. So one of the questions I have, which is an important question, and Eliana, this might be a little bit too in the weeds, sorry. This might be too much in the weeds for tonight, but if you want to send me a DM, I would love to know when the I-130 petition was approved. So that's going to be important for humanitarian reinstatement purposes. But yes, humanitarian reinstatement is available. It's important to know when the I-130 petition was approved. Hopefully it was approved before your father passed away, but you know, back then they would sometimes approve an I-130 petition within 1 to 2 months. So essentially for humanitarian reinstatement, if the petitioner, if the I-130 was approved prior to the petitioner passing away, then you can request humanitarian reinstatement. And it is a process, guys. It's a really just a long process. Sometimes it can take a couple of years. The reason is because there's no form for humanitarian reinstatement. So there's no fee for it. You're requesting the humanitarian reinstatement. So you're going back to the office where that initial I-130 petition was filed. And Eliana, if your dad was, you know, in Virginia Beach, that I-130 petition was most likely filed at the Norfolk Immigration Office, just right at the window. And that's the case with many immigration offices around the country. No matter where you are, you probably filed that 1997 petition right at the window. And so we would be making that request to the office. Let's just assume it's Norfolk, and I'm just guessing. We'd be sending them a package, requesting and why we're requesting. We would also be submitting a step-in sponsor. So you have to have a substitute sponsor. If there's a sibling that can step in the shoes of your father, then humanitarian reinstatement may be possible for the case. But go ahead and shoot me a DM through Facebook, and we'll look a little bit deeper into that to see if that's possible. But thank you so much for the question. It's an awesome question. We have successfully done humanitarian reinstatement. It's usually from the Philippines, because Philippines takes forever, and they are tough, but they are very rewarding for that family unity. Like, it's, you know, some of the siblings are here, some of the siblings got left behind. You know, dad's dream, 1997, he filed this petition. He wanted all his family members to be here in the United States together, and then he passed away. And it's just such a rewarding feeling. Number one, because, you know, all the family members are going to finally be together. Number two is because they've waited so long, and that humanitarian reinstatement process can take such a long time. Like, we have these cases 2-3 years before we get them through. So hopefully we can help you with that, and just send me a DM. But thank you so much for that question, because it is available and a lot of people don't know that. All right, let's see. Oh, your mom's on.
Oh,
hi, Mom. How's it going?
Hi, Mama. How you doing?
All right, let's see here.
That's my Mama.
I know. Thanks for joining. I don't see my mom on here still. She's
it's almost Mother's Day.
That's right.
For those of you watching who...
It's almost Mother's Day. So important.
Who need to know that for planning purposes. That's a PSA from me. Next weekend is Mother's Day.
Is it next weekend already?
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Well, we'll be able to say Happy Mother's. Are we going to do a Facebook Live on Mother's Day? Maybe we'll do it on Saturday.
We'll have to think about that.
We'll have to think about that. But remember that time that I got mad that you guys got me a vacuum for Mother's Day?
I will never forget it.
Our kids have that core memory when Mom just lost it because I got a vacuum cleaner for Mother's Day. So
in addition to reminding you about Mother's Day, the other PSA that I have is, do not get your mother a vacuum cleaner or any other cleaning supplies, equipment. Don't do it. Bad move. Sprays and sponges. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I don't care now. Give me a vacuum cleaner. I do want one of those robotic vacuum cleaners.
The Roomba?
Yes. The Roomba, yes. Not one that I have to do anything with. It's something that does it automatically. All right.
Here's another question.
Where's the question? Let's see.
Here.
Yes. All right, I'm going to put Jason's question on here. Jason Thomas, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Is it still 6 to 8 months for a fiance visa? Question mark, question mark. So there are 3 steps to a fiance visa. The very first step is to file that I-129F. And from what we're seeing in our office, yes, it is taking about 6 to 8 months for USCIS to approve that I-129F, but that's just the very first part. Once USCIS approves the I-129F, then they have to send it to the U.S. Embassy. Let's just say it's Manila. That sending of the approved petition, that transfer, it can take 1 to 2 months. Okay, so let's just say they approve it in 6 months. They do that transfer. Now we're at 8 months. Then you've got to schedule that interview. And right now, fiancé visas have opened up with regard to interviews, but they're very backlogged. So who knows how long it's going to get through that backlog and do that interview and get that interview. But typically it was, within about a month, and this is pre-COVID. So you'd have that interview, you'd get your medical schedule, you have the interview. It would be about a month and a half. Great. And then once the fiancé received the fiancé visa, travels to the United States, gets married within 90 days of entering the United States, of course, and then file the green card application along with the affidavit of support, the work permit, the advanced parole. And that green card application is taking a long time, and it's taking 1+ year. So Jason, to answer your question, part of it may still be 6 to 8 months, but that's just the very beginning. A lot of times our fiancé visa clients want to know, hey, when will my fiance physically be in the United States? That is the question. That's the question. They don't care about the green card application.
Good question.
It's a good question, because that's the desire for the couple to be together. And it's really tough to say that initial I-129F. Yes, you're going to get that approval within 6 to 8 months, most likely. Don't look at USCIS processing times. I mean, they're horrendous, but just from what we've seen, it's going to take about that amount of time. But as I just mentioned, there are all these other steps so when are you going to see your fiance? That is a different question. But that initial thing, yes, 6 to 8 months. I hope that helps. It's probably not what you wanted to hear. When I tell people about the processing times of fiance visas, they say, let me just go and get married. Maybe that could be longer, though. It's tough to say right now. But a lot of people are asking about that. Fiancé visa interviews have opened up. The fiancé visa process, guys, I mean, during COVID, it just was terrible. It was horrible. I mean, the fiancé visa is supposed to be the fast process in order to get your fiancé, for you guys to be together. That's the fastest way, right? But it was definitely not during COVID. And like I said, it was just probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago that fiancé visas just started getting scheduled. All right, thank you for that question. Let's see here. Do we have any others? While I'm looking, do you want to talk about DPC?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, you
keep scanning there.
I'll keep looking at the questions.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about briefly tonight that I haven't mentioned in the last few weeks, and I'm going to get back to it, is just a reminder. In Virginia now, they have something called a driving privilege card, and it does not matter what your immigration status is. You could be maybe in the middle of a process and you don't have what you need yet to get a regular driving license, driver's license, or maybe you're completely undocumented, but you drive all the time and you want to be able to do it legally. In the past, you had to show your lawful presence here, your immigration status, in order to get a driver's license, and you still have to do that for a regular driver's license, but you do not have to do that for a driving privilege card. So if you fall into that category, you should go to the DMV website and look at the requirements. I can give you a summary here. You'll have to pass the road test and the written test. You'll have to show that you had income in Virginia, that you live in Virginia, of course, that you've had income here in the last 12 months that was reported on a tax return. And you'll also have to show that you have liability insurance for your vehicle. And if you can do those things, then you can get a driving privilege card regardless of your immigration status. It looks just like a driver's license, but it'll have like a little code and it'll say what the restriction is for it. Just like if you wear eyeglasses, glasses for vision or something is a restriction that's on a license. So if you fall into that category, you should really take advantage of this. If you know somebody, you might want to let them know. And there are places that can help you with it. You can yourself And if you haven't filed taxes, that's one of the things that I get asked a lot. Well, if I haven't filed taxes, what can I do? You can file back taxes and then move forward with it. If you need to get a tax identification number, you can get that and then file the back taxes. You may have penalties and interest due, but it really will be worth it if you're a person who drives every day. And you're just worried all the time that if you get pulled over for, a brake light that's out or a headlight or something, and now you have a no operator's license charge, which is a class 2 misdemeanor in Virginia. So it's a jailable offense. And you don't typically go to jail on a first offense, but there are a handful of judges in the area who do give out jail even on a first offense. And so it's just not worth it. And if you get a second or subsequent offense, then it becomes a class 1 misdemeanor, which is a maximum of 12 months in jail or $2,500 fine or both. And then you really are looking at the possibility of going to jail. And so if you've got immigration issues, you already know probably instinctively the jail is the absolute last place that you want to be. So my advice to you would be to take advantage of this. If you're worried about it for some reason, maybe there's something in your past and you're afraid that if you go and give them your information, they're going to find out something that's a problem. Let me know. Call me, send me an email, DM our office, and I'd be happy to let you know whether I think, yeah, that is a problem. You might want to stay away from the DMV completely, or no, that's likely not a problem at all. Move forward with it. All right. So, and if anyone has any extra questions, additional questions, just let me know. I'd be happy to try to answer them for you. All right.
Yes, absolutely. It's important for those who can apply to get it. All right, we do have a lot of questions here. I want to just again welcome everyone and just reintroduce for those who are just joining us. My name is Attorney Mendoza, and this is my life partner, husband, John Gardner. We started our law firm 20 years ago, Gardner Mendoza, immigration law firm. And we are still going strong. We are still going strong. And we come to you guys every Sunday night, Eastern Standard Time. It's a toss-up to see if we're going to do this on Mother's Day.
We were married by Father Frias.
Yeah. Many years ago. Are we going to do 20? Is it going to be 23 that's coming up?
Yes, 23.
Wow, 23 years. Yeah. Awesome. We have 3 kids.
Awesome.
And it's a family business, Our daughter does graphic stuff for us, and sometimes our other daughter, Sammy, comes on and plays on Facebook Live. And our youngest is kind of like she's the mascot.
Sammy, maybe she could write a jingle.
A jingle for the law firm, yeah, that'll be cool. And I also wanted to mention, I mentioned this last week, and we're developing it right now. The page. If you guys, we're gonna have a private Facebook group. And if you guys want to be in that group, we had a few people sign up last week. Please write group in the comments and we will add you to our Facebook group. And so what we're going to do there is we're going to go live more there. And we'll also just be adding additional information and answering questions directly, because we appreciate you guys. We appreciate our live stream family, and we want to give you more than what we're already giving you. So if you want to join that group, please write group in the comments, and we will put you in there. It should be done this week, hopefully. And I'm scanning here for some questions.
Yeah, your cousin Roy had a question.
My cousin Roy, yeah, but my other cousin had a question. I have to get this question because she's not gonna leave me alone. She's like, why did you go to cousin Roy before you went to cousin Lou? All right. So
that's easy. It's because he's been in Geddy Lee's house.
No, that's true. Yeah.
How can you beat that?
Yeah. Blood
That's a lifelong dream of mine.
Blood cousins are not as strong as like other types of cousins. All right. Where is that question though? Hold on a second. I just saw it. Did you see a question from her? I thought I saw a question.
I did not see one, but I may have missed it.
All right. Sorry guys, bear with me. We are checking this out. I'm going in order here, guys. I'm going in order.
Go.
Okay.
It's right there.
Well, there's one here. This is this question. Let's go ahead and answer this. BB wants to know, can we make an appointment in person? We are not there yet, BB, with regard to in-person appointments. And the biggest reason is because I think that we can get our message across much better via Zoom when we don't have the mask on and we're not sitting, 6 feet apart in the conference room. And our team is also more comfortable doing that way. So we want to respect our team. Some of our team members are caring for people who, they would die if they brought home COVID. And so we're trying to just be really respectful of our team and also our existing clients and customers.
Right.
So I know a lot of people they might hesitate to say, okay, well, the Zoom is not going to be as good as in person. It's maybe even better. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, a couple of things that I want to say about that. One, we really can do everything that we need to do. Communicate, we can do it through phone calls and Zoom. Everything can be, sent through emails and filed electronically. So everything that we do, because we have clients all over the country and all over the world, quite frankly, and we deal with them without ever meeting them. That said, I totally get it. That there are some people that really just prefer, even though the Zoom is very efficient, they just prefer to have that human interaction, that one-on-one in person. And so we hope to eventually someday get back to that. And I'm confident that we will. But right now, we're still doing everything through Zoom.
Right. One of our, like I said, some of our team members are taking care of, elderly parents and things like that. So we're trying to be safe. And we do have drop-offs with regard to documents. We have done a couple of signing appointments in the office. So it's very minimal, but an initial appointment we do through Zoom. And I think it's better, especially when we don't have the mask and we can express ourselves and not have to worry about that. So BB, thank you so much for the question. Great question and allowing us to let people know.
When things get totally back to normal, then we will resume doing that.
All right, moving down the questions. This is a really good one because it's something that we've been talking about. So, hi Ray. Our youngest is over there doing homework. Oh no, is it YouTube? I don't know what that is.
She's sitting on the floor doing homework. It's awesome.
I don't think it's homework.
It is.
But all right, so this is from my cousin Malou. She's wondering about her brother's petition and a little bit of backstory. And you're asking this question, so I'm going to give a little bit of backstory. During his and I was not his attorney. This is like right when I first got my my law license to practice law, and this happened. So what happened was, and it's something we've been talking about, he went to his medical. You go to the civil surgeon to do your medical. This interview is abroad. It's an immigrant, it's an immigrant visa interview. So he goes to the medical, and this is many, many years ago, 20 years ago. And he admits to the civil surgeon, the doctor doing the medical, that yes, I've smoked marijuana a few times, and when I was a teenager. So what happened? Something that we've been talking about for several weeks now.
And when you're done answering this question, I'll just talk about it again.
Yeah,
very briefly.
He admitted to the use of marijuana, not just a single use of marijuana. There is an exception for that, but you say you smoke weed 6 or 7 times, whatever, no big deal. You're a teenager, right? A teenager, you're 18 years old. That's it. That makes him inadmissible to come into the United States. And Malou is asking if there is any type of reinstatement. From what I know, no, there's no reinstatement for that. Inadmissible unless you have a one-time use of marijuana less than 30 grams and you have a waiver, somebody that is a qualifying relative. In this case, there would be a waiver. It would be my aunt, his mother, but not for multiple times. So guys, this is serious stuff. And this is what we've been talking about because, of course, marijuana is becoming legal in many states.
Yeah, we talked about it last week on July 1st. I mean, it's legal in many states on July 1st. Possession of up to 1 ounce in Virginia is going to be legal. And so the warning that we've been throwing out to everyone is that just because there are, it's legal in some states and it's going to become sort of partly legal here, possession up to 1 ounce. For immigration purposes, it is still a potential problem. So if you are not a U.S. citizen, don't think that, oh, okay, well, it's no big deal now. It's legal. I can just go ahead and do it. I can have it. I can admit that I do it. And, oh, I'll just pay the fine if I get caught. Who cares? It could really come back to bite you. So if you're not a U.S. citizen, my advice is just to stay away from it. If you want to do it, and if you want to get involved in it, then become a citizen first.
Right. Yeah. So, Cuz, thank you so much for sharing that question, because it's important. Hopefully it will help others. And it's very, very unfortunate turn of events there many, many years ago. So guys, that's proof right there that what we are saying is true. It's still the law. It hasn't changed. Hopefully they change it, but it's law.
Yeah, it's still illegal under federal law. That's the problem.
Right.
Until that changes, or until Congress specifically carves out an exception in the immigration code related to marijuana, then it still is what it is. So I would just, again, they're like little loopholes and ways, things that can be done, but they're complicated. So the advice is just stay away from it.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Roy wants to know if, he's so funny. Maybe start the process of making our son Terry a Yankee, please, soon. If I get run over by a bus tomorrow, does he lose his claim to U.S. citizenship? If he can derive from you, Roy, then no, he would not lose it if you got run over by a bus. My recollection is he's going to have to file his N-400, and that either scenario, no, he doesn't lose his ability to file for citizenship. So yes, we can definitely start that.
Mm-hmm. And now that you've asked the question, Roy, please be careful tomorrow. All right, crossing streets. Just
right. Knock on wood. All right. Good evening, Lakeisha. Okay, Lakeisha wants to join the group. Whoever wants to join the group, put it in the group. All right, we've got a question here. Thank you guys for the questions. We love answering the questions.
Yeah, the questions, that's the main thing.
All right. BB, this is a good question. Again, this is humanitarian reinstatement. My mom petitioned for my sisters in 2006. 2 years ago, they got approved for their visa 2 years ago. That's 2019, but my mom passed away in 2011. I tried to take the papers over, but was rejected. Oh man, this is terrible. What advice would you give me to help my sisters? So the problem in this scenario is that the petition was not approved before mom passed away, and therefore under the law, no humanitarian reinstatement. It's very harsh in that regard, I believe. There are some other there are some other provisions of law that I haven't worked with enough. We've worked with it, 1 or 2 times. And BB, send me a DM, will you? And I'll look into that and see if there's anything else. But just generally speaking, if the petitioner passes away prior to that I-130 petition being approved, then there is no humanitarian reinstatement.
It's really sad. We see this from time to time, and it really is heartbreaking. Yeah,
it's just a lot there. All right, but BB, please, I know you're on our Facebook Live, and we really, really appreciate it. But just send me a DM, and we'll look more into that.
Yeah, and for those of you who've been watching all night and you've seen these questions, you see that the timing really can work against you sometimes in immigration cases, which is one more reason that we're always telling people, whatever their immigration case is, what type of case it is, to file it as soon as you possibly can. Maybe things happen in life, and it's sometimes you can't avoid, and it wouldn't make a difference. But you really want to try to get things rolling as quickly as possible, because you really, the future is very uncertain.
Absolutely, and it's also really important to file it correctly the first time. So I had a person that I consulted with, and her mom had filed an I-130 petition for her, and mom passed away, and she got this request for evidence. And the request for evidence basically was like nothing was submitted with that I-130 petition. So when you submit your I-130 petition, guys, this is the petition for alien relative. This is the petition for your family member. You've got to submit the supporting documents with that petition. You cannot just mail your petition, fill it out, pay the fee, sign it, and mail it off. You've got to show the relationship, okay? You've got to show, okay, if it's for your sibling, you have to include both of your birth certificates to show that you have the same parents, right? A translation of those documents. You also have to show that you are a U.S. citizen, so you need to show proof of that through, whether it's through your certificate of naturalization or whether it's through your U.S. passport. But you cannot just file an I-130 petition with no supporting documents. What's going to happen is, a year and a half later, you're going to get that back. It's going to be a notice of intent to deny. You have a very short period of time to answer that, and you've lost all the time. That could even come 3 or 4 years later. So you just got to be really careful, and also make sure that you update your address with USCIS if you have a petition pending, so you don't lose your benefit.
Yeah, let's put this up. Thank you, Roy, for sharing this. This is, don't just take our word for it. It is a real life experience. Roy says, even being a citizen doesn't help at Homeland Security with a 40-year-old marijuana possession charge. I had to get a waiver before I could prove my derivative claim to U.S. citizenship. So that's what we're talking about. You have this really minor thing. You're thinking, it's not even illegal anymore. And then you go travel to visit your parents or something, or a vacation even. You're coming back into the U.S. and then you suddenly realize you've got a major problem on your hands. And so just be super careful. And Roy, thanks for sharing that. That's great. Yeah,
it's good because Roy's a citizen. He derived his citizenship from his dad, and he had to show that in order to come into the United States because of this really old conviction. So possession charge.
Yep.
All right, I think that we have gone through all of our. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is a good question. I'm gonna put this up. Hello, Paul. How to start the petition for adopted son to come here in the United States without to go through the adoption agency? What are the things I need to do if I will finish the official adoption of our baby to the Philippines through DSWD there, and what to prepare for him to come here in the United States? So, this is from Love. This is a common thing, common type of case that we deal with and handle in our office. And so I do need to know a little bit more, but I'm going to just speak generally about adoption and petitioning someone who has been adopted. And I'm going to just say, okay, the scenario is we have a baby. The baby was adopted in the Philippines. Let's just assume we have our adoption decree. It's done. It's already done. All the home studies, everything's done. And the baby is your baby now because you've adopted it and it's legal under Philippines law. So you want to file the I-130 petition for your adopted child, your adopted baby. But one of the requirements of USCIS, 2 requirements is, 1, you have to have physically lived with that child for 2 years, okay? And also have legal custody of the child for 2 years or the adoption for 2 years. So that living with the child requirement is tough for people to do. And when you go and you fulfill that requirement, sometimes it takes years because you can go 3 months at a time, you can go 6 months at a time, 2 months, you go summertime, you go Christmas time. And a lot of our clients are building up this 2 years over a long period of time because it's a requirement. Lovely, I'm not sure if that's the case with you. I don't know, where you're from, or I think you're Filipino. So there it is, Philippines. But that is generally going to be a requirement for a case like this. So it's not just the adoption, it's also physically living with that child and taking care of that child. And not just doing that, but proving it and being able to prove it. So when you do it, you have to show that you were there, your passport stamps, maybe the barangay captain can attest to the fact that you were there every, Christmas, every summer, you need that because it's your burden to show that you actually fulfilled that requirement. So very, very common scenario with Filipino adoptions. Thank you for that question,
great.
Lovely. There's a lot going on there.
Great question.
And it doesn't look like you have finalized the adoption yet, but most likely you're going to also have to, once that adoption is finalized, you just cannot file the I-130 petition. What's very common scenario that we see is that you're adopting a family member, or a niece or a nephew, or maybe just an abandoned child that was left on your doorstep. I mean, these are scenarios that we've had in our office, and so that requirement of living with the child has to be done before you can file that I-130 petition. If you file the I-130 petition with just an adoption, that case is most likely going to get denied. All right. Whew, there's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got some really great questions.
Really great questions tonight. I love it. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. All right. Let's see if we have any more. I don't think we do.
I don't see any new ones.
What was I going to talk about?
I'm sure you had some Gratian updates.
I'm sure I did. What I wanted to say, guys, is that we are going to do an immigration update this week to talk about what the field office director had to say at the meeting last week. So we will let you know when that's going to be. It's going to be sometime this week. I'm going to do it with our attorney, Dominique, because he and I were there together on that call. And we'll discuss that. But, just some of the takeaways. And I'll just, for those of you guys who are waiting on a case, maybe you went to your interview, and we've got a couple of cases like this. We go to the interview, the office is like, good to go. Or maybe the office is like, okay, yeah, I'm going to send you a request for evidence. And you're waiting, it's months have passed, no request for evidence, no approval. What's going on? So I asked this exact question last week, and I said, what's going on? We have some of these cases, we have a handful of cases that crickets, and you cannot get any action from immigration unless your case is outside of processing times. If you go to USCIS processing times, you see these processing times are like years. So, okay, if your case is pending for years, you can't inquire unless it's past that time. So it's really frustrating, just to have this situation, this scenario. And I got a pretty good answer from the field office director. I understood, I got it. And what the answer was that because of COVID, there are a lot of people that are calling out. Officers, so the officers have their time, they're a couple of days a week. Each officer has a couple of days a week where they're just sitting in their office and they're cranking out the cases. They're approving them, they're going through them, they're issuing the RFEs, whatever has to be done. But when other officers are calling out because of COVID related issues, then those officers that were supposed to be working on those cases, they have to jump in and do all the interviews because you got interviews that day. So it made sense to me. I was really happy to get that explanation. I mean, my clients aren't happy about that explanation. I was like, okay, come on. What are we going to tell our clients? What do we tell the clients, And it was an explanation, and I understood it because we run an office as well. We get that when people are out, that we get behind. But we'll be talking about that a little bit more next week, guys. So it's almost 9 o'clock. I just want to say thank you again for you guys for joining us and asking the questions. We love coming on and helping people every Sunday.
Thanks to everybody who joined us.
And for those who are moms out there, happy Mother's Day. In advance. I'm not sure we're going to see you on Mother's Day next week because John has something special surprise, it's planned for me at 8 p.m.
At 8
Well,
p.m.
know what that's going to be. Is it late dinner?
It's going to happen right at 8 p.m. I've got something special planned for you. It's going to be, we're live. How's everyone doing out there?
Yeah, right. It's going to be a lobster dinner. Right here. I'm going to eat the lobster dinner here on Facebook Live. But Evelina, hello. I just saw you pop up. Thank you for joining us. Again, guys, if you want to be in our Facebook group, we're going to start this probably this week or next. Write group in the comments and we will add you to the group and we'll have more conversations there and more updates.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day to you. Lovely. Congratulations on, the almost adopting your baby.
Yeah,
That's so
fantastic.
awesome.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Very, very exciting. I probably threw a wrench in your plan if you didn't know anything about the requirement, physical living requirement, but I'm just going to scan here really quickly. I think we have slayed all of these questions.
We have. All right, gang. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful night. We will see you back here next week. Maybe. We'll keep you posted about that.
We'll keep you posted. We will let you know very, very soon whether we're going to be here.
Soon. All right, let's do it.
All right, guys.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Thank you so much.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
week. Take care.